What's in today's podcast? Dinosaurs. What's in a Podcast, episode 002. Today, we are going to discuss the topic of dinosaurs, a topic that is near and dear to me. For you see, I was born in Vernal, Utah, the dinosaur capital of the world. As proof that it's the dinosaur capital of the world anyway, not that I was born there. I do have a long-form birth certificate, but I submit the Dinosaur on Main Street, where you used to be able to buy Beanie Babies of all things. Vernal has a dinosaur museum, which, as with most things, was much better when I was younger, but there they have giant dinosaur statues that they decorate with lights and tinsel to celebrate Christmas. I can't think of a better way to celebrate the holidays than with snow-covered Stegosaurus. Vernal also has the Dinosaur National Monument that is built into the side of a cliff that has been partially excavated to reveal a treasure trove of fossils. It seems as though a large number of dinosaurs were caught in a flash flood, depositing their bones in a riverbed. They must have all decided to get thirsty at the same time, or, well, I suppose they're herd animals, the herbivores anyway, and where there are herbivores, there are carnivores. It must have just been a little bit of a smorgasbord for them, and unluckily for them, but luckily for us, the floods came, and now we have fossils. It was perfect conditions for fossilization there, and they've discovered such dinosaurs as the Allosaurus, Deinonychus, Stegosaurus, various sauropods, and you can even see many other fossilized reptiles. The giant stone wall covered with, well, prehistory, I guess, is what I think of first when I think of dinosaurs. Some of that is probably from the brainwashing I received in preschool, where we sang dinosaur songs every day. And yes, like C.G.P. Gray, I wanted to be a paleontologist. Wanted being the operative word. Luckily, I grew up in Florida, away from the constant paleo propaganda, and I was able to see that the life of a paleontologist is a hot, sweaty, thankless one. So now I'm an engineer. Also thankless sometimes, but at least I have air conditioning. Though my career path didn't lead to dust and rocks, I still think fondly about dinosaurs. What do you think of when you think about dinosaurs?
Very large eggs.
I guess when I think of dinosaurs, I think of fossils, Jurassic Park, anything like that.
Bones, fossils, museums, displays, kids' apparel, kids' bedding, things like that, and so on.
Anything dinosaur related is awesome. So let's just say anything with T-Rex is cool. Jurassic Park.
Of course, Jurassic Park comes up. It was a great movie. Great practical effects, characters we cared about, a strange DNA mascot, acceptable CGI, and a kind of weird premise. But it really was a good movie, and the only real downside that I have, or the only complaint I have, is that it was misnamed, since a majority, if not all, of the dinosaurs in the movie were from the Cretaceous period. Nitpicky maybe, but, you gotta be accurate. I don't know if the name really works well. Welcome to Cretaceous Park. Well, what's in a name anyway? The success of Jurassic Park has carried a series of terrible sequels and a fun but terrible rebootish sequel sort of thing in Jurassic World. I will admit that when Jurassic Park came out on VHS, I watched it back to back to back to back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think that's right. Dinosaurs are definitely entertaining. I wonder if I would have liked Transformers the cartoon as much as I did if they didn't have the Dinobots, or if I would have even paid attention to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers if they didn't have their Dinosaurs. I wonder if the new movie is going to be any good. I'm not too hopeful for these sort of things anyway, but I digress. There was the Dinosaurs cartoon where the dinosaurs came from outer space, or maybe they evolved and developed space travel. I'm not too sure. I mean, it has been quite a long time since I've seen that show. Oh, and there was the Dinosaurs sitcom from Jim Henson. I recently bought that show on DVD, and I found that I was able to appreciate it on a deeper level. I didn't realize this or remember that in the show, the dinosaurs had just left the forest, left the wild, and things like families and civilization itself were all new to them. They had to wrestle with things like vegetarianism, although I'm not too sure that their species was carnivorous. They kind of maybe seemed like omnivores to me. Charlene was prosecuted as a heretic for espousing a round earth theory, and in one of my favorite episodes, entitled Hurling Day, Earl became the first dinosaur to not throw his mother-in-law off a cliff. Not that I've ever thought of doing that myself. But the dinosaurs have even found their way into King Kong, since what else could prove an appropriate foil for a giant ape, except for maybe a small blonde woman? I know that sometimes the small blonde women also get me a little bit flustered. But anyway, now, I don't want to give the impression that it's all action and excitement when it comes to dinosaurs and entertainment. It can also be touching and epic. Of course, I am talking about The Land Before Time. The first one. The only one. This is really the only movie I can't watch now, because when Littlefoot's mom dies, I don't know if I'll be able to hold it together. That was it was crushing. And then the arduous journey that the small band has to take. Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings really could have taken a lesson from Petrie, Ducky, Sarah, Spike, and Littlefoot. Aside from watching dinosaurs, I am lucky to live near Universal's Islands of Adventure, where I can also experience dinosaurs. There's Camp Jurassic with its winding caves and Dilophosaurus water guns. Jurassic Park the ride is also a must-do, but I've heard that Mr. Steven Spielberg, Mr. Jurassic Park himself, is too afraid to go down the final T-Rex drop and takes an elevator to the bottom. Lame, 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 lame. Unfortunately, though, one of my favorite attractions no longer exists. They used to have a Triceratops encounter where you got to see a life-size Triceratops in a veterinary facility. It peed and everything, and they got rid of it. They've replaced it with a Velociraptor photo op, which is pretty neat, I guess, but, I don't know. The Velociraptor, I've got issues with that guy anyway. Really, what you see in the movies, what you see in the experience in the photo op, it's more based on the Deinonychus, but, once again, that nitpicky stuff. If you visit, be sure to visit the Discovery Center to play You Bet Jurassic. That's You Bet Jurassic. Subtle, Universal. Subtle. A little hint, the female T-Rex was definitely bigger. So, why do dinosaurs capture our imagination? Why are they so fascinating?
Because they're interesting, cool looking, and they don't exist anymore, so they have that mysteriousness to them.
It's something out of the ordinary, something that we're unfamiliar with, something we've never seen in person. So I think that that's something that fascinates us, same reason that sci-fi is interesting to most people.
I mean, people even collect coprolite, which is literally poop. Fossilized poop. And people collect it. I think it has to do with their immense size. I had the opportunity to swim with whale sharks in the Atlanta Aquarium, and it's hard to describe what it's like to be right next to a 30-foot animal. And the Argentinosaurus, that giant sauropod, was up to 130 feet long. 130 feet. That is unimaginable, really. I mean, you'd have to take a very large building and lay it on its side and stand next to it to try and even come close to understanding how big that is. Whatever our reasons are for liking them, we all have a favorite. What's yours?
Pterodactyl.
Velociraptor.
The T-Rex. T-Rex. Don't ask me why that's my favorite dinosaur, but I said T-Rex because it's one of the most popular dinosaur names you'll find.
My favorite is a secret, since my wife can't remember, and I don't want to give it away. She's kind of in trouble for that, but I think she might remember. She might pull that one off, but the T-Rex is definitely popular, which is probably why Barney is a T-Rex. Or maybe part of the popularity of the T-Rex is because of Barney? I guess it's one of those chicken and the egg things, but nothing is better for toddlers than a giant, vicious predator with teeth up to 9 inches long. Well, thanks for listening. Visit us at www.whatsinapodcast.com. Find us on iTunes, YouTube, and wherever else you can get podcasts. And don't forget to share, like, and rate us.